Welcome everyone to India's largest learning platform, Unacademy. You can subscribe to Unacademy and become a part of Unacademy family. There are many benefits of the subscription. First, you can attend daily live classes. These classes are highly engaging. You can ask your doubts, answer polls are conducted. So, the holistic and comprehensive classes having interactive platform are ready for you. You can attend live tests and quizzes through which you can evaluate your performance. The courses of Unacademy are properly planned, thoroughly structured. You also get unlimited access to the platform through which you can see live and recorded courses. For this, you have to download Unacademy's learning app from Play Store. After subscription, you can attend courses of top educators like Mrunal Patel sir, Roman Saini sir, and other 100 plus top educators. Syllabus is comprehensively covered on Unacademy, be it prelims, mains, and interview. So all phases of examination are comprehensively covered. For subscription, there is a for subscription you can go for 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 12 month, and 24-month subscription plan as per your requirement. So there is quite a flexibility in subscription scheme. Generally for UPSC it is advisable that you should go for 1 year or 2 year subscription. 1 year subscription is 44,000 rupees, but you can use code AJ01, get 10% off. Similarly, by using AJ01 code, you will get 2 year subscription by in 57,600 rupees. So you are getting a 10% off on 64,000 rupees. Now today is the last day of subscription in this particular fees, because from tomorrow onwards there is a hike in subscription fees. 24th October 2020. So subscribe now, subscribe today itself, otherwise you will end up paying more fees. You can also go for iconic subscription. It is basically one-to-one mentorship. Many a time we feel like we need a personal coach, a mentor. Now to meet your need, Unacademy has come with iconic subscription. In this scheme, a personal coach is assigned to you. You can get your mains answer checked by your personal mentor. Your study planner is prepared and personalized feedback on the basis of your requirement is given to you. Now this is uniqueness of this iconic subscription scheme. For 1 year it is 64,000 rupees, but again you can get 10% off by using code AJ01 and you have to pay only 57600. For 2 year it is 89100 after using code AJ01. Now GS paper 3 master strategy. So far we have discussed the strategy of GS paper 1 and paper 2. This is strategy of GS paper 3. Tomorrow will come with strategy of GS paper 4. Then I will start sharing further material with you and we will practice the answers of GS paper as well during the live classes. Now overview of class, UPSC mains examination overview, then toppers marks, understanding the demand of examination from syllabus, last 10 years paper. So these two sources we usually refer to understand the demand of examination. Indicative book list, what to read, from where to read, and at the end answer writing tips for each particular section. So section wise tips is given to you. So let us see overview of examination. We have already seen this overview. In mains examination there are 7 papers. Out of these 7 papers, one is essay paper, 4 papers are GS papers, and 2 are optionals. Total 1750 marks. So it's paper 4 is GS paper 3. It is technology, economic development, biodiversity, security and disaster management. 250 marks is assigned to you for this particular paper. Now let us see toppers marks, how they are scoring in GS paper 3. Now GS paper 3 is quite a scoring, I would rather say it is one of the most scoring GS paper. Most scoring GS papers are GS paper 2 and GS paper 3. It is easy to score in these two papers because these two papers are largely current affair based. So if you prepare the paper holistically, you might end up getting good marks. 2018 Kanish Kataria 117 marks. 2017 Anudeep Durishetty 136 marks, which is quite a high score. Nandini Kiar 116. Tina Dabi 2015 again 110 plus. Ira Singhal 95. Gaurav Agrawal 2013 88 marks. So we can see that people are getting more than 130 marks in GS paper 2, especially Anudeep Durishetty 2017 136 marks in GS paper 3, quite a decent score. 2018 topper again 1117, so it is 115 plus marks. So it is possible to get good marks in GS paper 3, and if you are focusing on GS papers, try to gain most marks from GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 because they will fetch you good marks provided you have good command over current affair. Now let us see the syllabus of GS paper 3. Now it is having a quite exhaustive syllabus. First part is economics. Now economy you need to cover in detail because half of the paper, out of 250 marks, 125 marks will be asked from economy section. So quite an exhaustive paper but easy to cover. First section economy. Second section is science and technology. Third section is environment, disaster management and security. So economy you have to cover in detail. Let us see what syllabus says about economy. Then after seeing the syllabus, we will see what has been the trend of last few years. 2019 analysis is being done by me. Which section is fetching? Which section? How many marks question have come from which particular section? So economy, they are constantly asking 112, 125, 125, 125, 125. So almost 50% of your total weightage of GS paper 3 comes from economy. So it becomes very important, and once you cover the economy thoroughly, you might get good marks. We'll also see the indicative book list, and we will attempt an economic question from 2019 mains paper, how so that we can learn how to attempt the paper. First see the syllabus. Why I'm going through entire syllabus? Because you need to go through the syllabus and you have to remember each and every term of the syllabus. It becomes very important because whatever you are reading, be it you are reading a book, whether you are reading newspaper, whether you are reading current affair magazine, even if you are reading Yojana, Kurukshetra or anything else, you need to read according to the syllabus. So remembering syllabus is the very first step. Many a time we get carried away with a particular book, newspaper, magazine, and we end up spending a lot of time on that particular book which is there not in which is not in the syllabus. So you have to remember each and every aspect of syllabus. So let us see what is syllabus of GS paper 3. Indian economy section, issues related to planning. So basically it is about origin of planning, that which model of planning has been adopted by India. We have got mixed model of planning. So issues related to planning, mobilization of resources. Now for planning you need resources. So from where to mobilize your resources. Also growth and development. You need to know the difference between growth and development. What is growth? What is development? Basically, let us discuss the major differences first. Growth is always quantitative. Now let us see quality. Growth is quantitative parameter. Now there is no quality in growth. Development is having both quality and quantity. That is the major difference between growth. Growth is in percentage figure. Your GDP is 6%, 7%, 8%. Development is other than having 6-7% GDP, whether there is quality in development or not. That is your development. So growth only carries quantity, development will carry both quality and quantity. So that is difference. Now there is a for one good book for covering this section of economy is Ramesh Singh book, Indian economy. So you can refer this particular book. It is covering most of your economy syllabus, so you can go for it. Growth and development, there is a separate chapter on growth and development, explaining what are the difference between two. Book is written nicely, so you can go for it. Again there is an employment portion, so you need to know what is unemployment, what is employment, how to define it. Again inclusive growth. So meaning of inclusive growth. Now what is inclusive growth? There are many sections of society which are excluded from growth. So inclusive growth is basically a holistic growth of economy where all sections of society are covered. Issues arising from and related to inclusive growth. So you have to not only understand the meaning of inclusive growth, but also see what are the issues relating to inclusive growth. There is also a chapter on budgeting. So you need to know various kind of budgeting. What is government budgeting? Agriculture, PDS, subsidies and food processing. This particular section is very important from economic point of view because repeatedly questions are being asked from this particular section. Now major crops and cropping pattern in different part of country, different kind of irrigation and irrigation system. So you can have irrigation by tube well, irrigation by well, irrigation by canal. So different kind of irrigation system. They can ask you transport and marketing of agriculture product. So whatever being produced in agriculture, how it is transported, how marketing is done. Issues related to transport and marketing of agriculture products. So not only concept of transportation but also all the issues concerning transportation is also important. E-technology for farmers help. So what technology is being used for farmers help? issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidy. Now farm subsidy is very important because it is major chunk of subsidy. It is major chunk of subsidy. So a large share of government subsidy goes to farm sector. It becomes very important. Minimum support price. Now what is minimum support price? Minimum support price is the price of certain agriculture commodities which government promised to purchase, that if other if they are not being purchased in open market, so the minimum price on which government will purchase your farming price, listed farming price, that is minimum support price. So not only the meaning but also issues concerning minimum support price. PDS, public distribution system, you need to understand what is PDF, objective, how it functions, what are limitations, how to revamp. So basically it covers Food Corporation of India and other institutions working in public distribution system. Agriculture PDS, subsidies and food processing sector. Now buffer stock and food security. Buffer stock is the stock by an economy in case of food stress. So government of India is having a provision of having a buffer stock when there is a scarcity of food, or in case of emergency we always have a stock. So that is buffer stock, and it is concerning food security. So issues related to buffer stock, how much buffer stock we should have, and what are the expenditure related to buffer stock, all these things. Technology mission, economics of animal rearing, food processing and related industries in India. So basically it is about food processing industries. So what are the scope, location of these industries, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management and land reform in India. So this is your economy section. You can see it is quite an exhaustive section, but all this chapter can be found in Economy by Ramesh Singh. So you can refer Ramesh Singh or any other relevant book which you find useful for your syllabus. Now next is industrial policies and liberalization. So basically it is talking about LPG era of 1990s, when India, there was a BOP crisis in India, balance of payment crisis in India, and how liberalization got started. So effect of liberalization on Indian economy. After liberalization, what were the positive effect, what were the negative effect of liberalization on Indian economy? Changes in industrial policy. So you have to see all industrial policies over the years and how one policy is different from other policy. What were the changes in industrial policies? Effect of changes in industrial policy on industrial growth. Now you have changed industrial policy, but whether it yield any effect on uh, growth of industry or not, you have to see that parameter. So it is also incorporated into your syllabus. Next is infrastructure and investment model. So basically it is talking about various mode of infrastructure and mode of investment like PPP, public private partnership, and other mode of investment. So infrastructure sector covers energy, ports, road, airport, railway, and other, and covering investment models. Now this is economy. Now it is quite a detailed syllabus. You can see this. So you need to cover it carefully. Second is science and technology portion. So first part is application based, development in field of science and technology, its application and what are its effect. So recent development, application of scientific development in everyday life, it's very important. Second line is important because most of question of science and technology comes from this particular part of syllabus, that how it is useful for us, effect of scientific development in everyday life, how, what is the effect of that development in our life. Next section of science and technology is indigenous technologies. So technologies invented by Indian scientists, contribution of Indian scientists. What are the indigenous technology? For example, recently there was a cryogenic engine was indigenously developed by government of India, or recently cryogenic engine was developed by Indian scientists. So that kind of indigenous technologies are important. Developing new technologies indigenously, how to develop new technologies indigenously. General awareness and IPR issue. Now development and application of science and technology, indigenous technology, and awareness and IPR issue. Awareness in the field of IT, awareness in the field of space. You have to know all these aspects. Now awareness in the, you also need to be aware in the field of computer, robotics, nanotechnologies, biotechnologies. So these are recent technologies. Issues related to IPR or intellectual property right. So basically science syllabus is covering development, their application, indigenous technologies, our general awareness of science and technology of especially recent field, and IPR issues. Science syllabus is not that exhaustive. Environment portion, it is very limited. You have to see conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, and environment impact assessment. So quite a short environment syllabus. Disaster management, disasters, so various kind of disasters, for example earthquake, tsunami, it can be drought, it can be flood, and many such cyclone. So many such disasters, you need to know all these disasters and how to manage this disaster. So there is NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, how it works, the structure of NDMA, the mechanism of NDMA, the mandate of NDMA. You have to see all these things. Now security is also an important portion. So linkage between development and spread of extremism. What is extremism? For example, LWE, left wing extremism. So basically it is talking about red corridor. So how development and extremism are related to each other. What is extremism? What is red corridor area? Where these people are found? Role of state and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security. So various state and non-state actors which are creating challenges to internal security of India. You need to see all these factors. Now what are state and non-state actors? Terrorism or terrorist. You also see drug cartel, people involved in narcotics, and similar like cybercrime. So all these issue you need to read in security portion. So basically our syllabus is having 5 portions. Economics, very detailed, large, exhaustive, but easy. Once you have read economy properly, you will find question of economic quite an easy question. Second portion is science and technology, which is mainly around development of science technology, application, development, application, indigenous technology, and recent technologies. Third portion is environment. Fourth is disaster management. Fifth is security. So it is division of our GS paper 3 syllabus. Now one more thing which I am saying in every strategy video, take printout of your syllabus, remember your syllabus by your heart and soul. Now it is very first step. Now if somebody asks me that from where I should start preparing, so very first step, take printout, remember your syllabus by your heart and soul, and always carry your syllabus with you. Always carry syllabus with you whenever you are reading, wherever you are reading, whatever you are reading, you have a copy of syllabus with you, so that you get to know what is relevant or not, because this market is flooded with material, flooded with sources. You will end up getting deviate from your preparation. The only beacon light or only guiding force is your syllabus. So always have a syllabus with you. Now we are understanding the demand of examination. We have seen first part, which is your syllabus. Second part, last 10 years question paper. Now what are the benefit we have already seen in previous master strategies. By going through last 10 years paper, you get to know the demand of examination, focus area or important areas from where questions are being asked, what is pattern, trend, difficulty level, and other aspect. So let us actually see what is happening. You can join me on my telegram channel Unacademy_Ashpal. Use referral code AJ01 to get 10% off. Now let us see 2019 GS mains paper 3. Don't read entire paper. See only whatever highlighted by me. First question, you are asked to enumerate. Do you agree? Reasons in support. How far is? Elaborate and how. These are some of the directives. As per this directive, you have to attempt the question. More directives: what, analyze, discuss, examine, discuss, what, explain something. You are asked to explain something. You are asked to comment something, clarify it, what, elaborate, how. Question number 16 to 20, how, explain something, explain, analyze, examine, and discuss. So basically we have got some directives and we have to attempt question according to directives. Now 2019 paper analysis is here. How many questions are coming from a particular section? Now most important section is economy. Out of 250, 120 marks were assigned to economy section. So 50% of total weightage of paper 2 is from economy section. You have to prepare it holistically and thoroughly. Prepare economy holistically and thoroughly. 125 marks out of total 215. It is easy to score, easy to fetch marks. Once you understand the basics of economy, you will end up getting good marks. Science and technology 25 marks. Now not that much important, but you have to read science and technology. Environment, there is only one question of 15 marks. Security is again second most important part. 50 questions are asked. Security, left wing extremism, cyber security, terrorism, drug cartel, cross border terrorism. Now this area you need to focus upon, because security 50 questions or 5 questions are being asked from security section. Disaster management is third important area, 35 marks, which is also quite a good weightage. So first economy, second security, third disaster management, fourth science and technology, and environment. Even if you don't read environment, you will attempt the question. So least focus should be on environment section. Now it is 2019 paper analysis, so we can say half of your time should go on economy section, because 50% weightage. Second priority you should give on security paper. Security also 50 marks, so 20% weightage. Again, try to cover disaster management properly, because syllabus is short, and 35 marks, so 3-4 questions are asked from disaster management. Environment, you need to not to focus much. Science and technology, again, don't spend very much time. Now you don't need to give, if you are giving 2020 mains examination, no need to give 15 days on science technology. So ideally you can spend 10 to 12 days on economy if you have read economy before. Security spend 5 to 6 days. Disaster management spend 3-4 days. Environment, you can see, check environment 1 day, science and technology 2 days, that's sufficient. So prepare your plan in this way. So 10 and 5, 15, or 4, 19, 20, and 22. So prepare your plan that within 20 days you are prepared, you are able to prepare GS paper 3, because you have to cover other areas also. You have to write answer as well, you have to write mock test series. So plan wisely and prepare according to priority. Even if you like science and technology, don't get carried away with it. It might be your favorite area, but not favorite area of UPSC. So we don't need to get emotional about it. Just be practical and try to fetch good marks. That should be your sole aim. Now let us see past 5 years paper, which section is how much weightage is assigned to which particular section. So again, as we talked, economy is most important section. So you can see the trend. 2015 112 marks, 16 125, and then constantly 125 marks. So almost 50% of your total weightage is going to economy section. Second, I told you security is second most important part of your preparation. Now trend analysis helps in deciding your focus area. Security 62.5 marks, and then constantly 50 50. This year it reduced, but again 2019 50 marks. So almost 20% of weightage is going to security portion. Now disaster management is also an important area. I would rate this area number 3. DM 12.5, 25, 15, 50, and 35. So yes, questions 3-4 questions are regularly being asked from disaster management, so you can spend time on this particular section. Fourth is science and technology. Now scope of science and technology is very wide, so it takes time to cover entire syllabus. So that's why I asked you to just spend 3-4 days only. so that you can see core concept properly. Science and technology 37.5, 25, 35, 25 and 25. So yes, it is 2-3 question you can expect from science and technology, but more important section is disaster management. Environment don't give much attention. 25, 25, 25, 35 and 15. So one or two question you can expect from environment, but because for prelims we read environment very exhaustively. In fact, for few of the people, 40% of prelims preparation is environmental oriented. People reading Shankar environment book 10 to 15 times. So since we have spent considerable high amount of time in prelims preparation on environment, so no need to give much time on environment. Just take 1 or 2 days, revise whatever you have read and start writing answers. So priority area, economy number 1, security number 2, disaster management 3, science and technology, and then environment. I have also told you how many days to spend. Economy 10 to 12 days, disaster management, security 5-6 days, DM 3-4 days, science technology 2-3 days, environment only 1 day. This way you can prepare your paper 2 in 20 days. Now directives of GS, we have seen 2019 paper, there were many directives like elucidate, comment, examine, critically examine, discuss, substantiate, evaluate, analyze and explain. Now I will have a separate video on directives where we will see uh, all these directives with examples, so that you actually need so that you can actually understand what to write when a particular directives is being you are asked according to a particular directive. So a separate video will be prepared. Learn the art of answer writing as per directives. Yes, it is very important. Now sources, where to read economy, from where to read your security and disaster management, where to read science and technology, where to read environment. Now it is an indicative list, so according to me these are best sources. You can, these are good sources, you can refer it, and I have taken authentic sources only. I will focus on NCRTs and standard books. So let us see where to read environment from or economics from. Economy is first NCRT, class 11th and 12th NCRT. These are basics, Indian economic development, short NCRT, go through it thoroughly. Macroeconomics, class 12th NCRT. So 2 NCRTs. Of course, very handy source, very important. I would say one of the most important source for economic preparation, economic survey and budget. Now, reading economic survey is not sufficient, but you have to prepare notes from economic survey, which can be used while writing answer writing. Budget can also be used. How to use economic survey? Let us see. First, you have to write important facts. Let's suppose you have 3 pages in your diary for important facts. What facts you have to write? You have to write facts of GDPs of last 5 years, GDP of last 5 years, and also decadal GDP or average GDP of last 10 years. Of the decade, for example 2010 to 20, 2000 to 2010. So have the GDP figure of last few years, but also average GDP figure of last decade, last few decades. It becomes very important. How? I will tell you in answer writing. GDP figures. Also write inflation. Inflation figure of last 3 years. in your diary. Similarly, rate of unemployment, poverty, growth of sectors, growth rate of sectors. For example, agriculture, industry, service sector, what are their growth rates? Also, contribution of sector in economy. So you are getting an idea that which kind of data you need to take. Now, no need to take very exhaustive list of data. Now this data will be ready to use data while writing your answer, and they will help you in fetching good marks. We will also see how to use this data while writing answer. So have 2-3 page separately assigned for your facts and data, and compile important data from economic survey. It becomes very important, especially in writing answers. So economic survey is very important. Budget is also important. Now, one book which I personally refer, which is Ramesh Singh. Now, since it is an indicative source of me, so you can choose any other book, but Ramesh Singh cover the syllabus of UPSC mains examination properly. That's why I'm referring it. You can go for any other book which you like. Unacademy video, mrunal.org. It is also a very good source of economy. Mrunal sir is also teaching on economy, so you can see all his video. He is a leading faculty of economy in country, so his video are easy to understand. So you can see his website, his video on Unacademy as well. One more important source, Niti Aayog 3-year action plan report. Now this report will help you in writing conclusion because it is very handy, and you can write your conclusion with this Niti Aayog 3-year action plan. Newspaper, monthly magazine we are reading every month, so that can also be used. So basically our sources are first NCERTs, two NCERT class 11th and 12th, second economic survey and budget, one book which is Ramesh Singh. These three are basic sources. Then you can uh, watch Mrunal sir's video or other Unacademy video, and for conclusion refer Niti Aayog 3-year action report, which is very good report. Go through it. Newspaper Hindu, Indian Express we are reading every month. Magazines are reading. So these should be your core sources. Now economy is very exhaustive in paper 3, so you need to cover it thoroughly. So take help of these sources. Now if you have covered all these sources, don't add more sources to your list because you will get confused. So you can refer all these sources. Now security and disaster management, from where to prepare, and these particular sections are difficult to find. So let us see where to read security and disaster management. Security is particularly very important. Now for security portion, since we find difficult to find good books, so I have found a book which I personally prefer while reading security. So you can go for it or any other book. Security, India's National Security, a reader book by Oxford. Now it is optional. I found this book useful, so you can go for this particular book. It is Oxford publication book, India's National Security, a reader book. Now it is covering your syllabus, so you can cover security portion, especially conceptual aspect from this particular book. Now covering in current dimension of security, you have to see Unacademy video. Newspaper we are reading Hindu, Indian Express or any other newspaper, and monthly magazine we are covering where there is a particular section on security. So add this particular book with current affairs sources. Now that would be sufficient, and write answers. Answer writing is equally important. So once you have read core concept or conceptual clarity, you have read current affairs sources, now you are ready to write answers on security. About disaster management, I would suggest you some indicative books. There is a CBSE book on disaster management, you can refer it. It is a good book. Also, there is a special edition of disaster management of Yojana magazine. Since Yojana is a government of India publication, it becomes an authentic source. There are report of ministries on disaster management, so you can refer that particular report as well. So let us summarize our sources. Security, two sources. Which book? I'm telling you, Oxford book, which is quite a good book. Second, current affair. So current affair through newspaper, Unacademy video, current affair magazine. Concept you will learn from this particular book, and then current affair from current affair sources. That would be sufficient for security. Disaster management, first source is CBSE book on disaster management. Second are government reports, especially report of ministry on disaster management. You can refer that particular book, and edition of Yojana. Is there are a special edition of Yojana magazine on disaster management, so you can refer that source for disaster management. I hope the list is exhaustive. Now I have limited my sources because I don't want you to get carried away with n number of sources and get confused. These are limited and indicative sources. These are good enough to cover your syllabus. Now let us see how where to cover environment science and science and technology. Now environment, for environment, any good book, for example people refer Shankar IAS. So any book you find useful for environment, go through it, but spend very less time on environment book. If you are appearing for 2020 mains, just spend 1 or 2 days on this particular section, because 1 or 2 questions are asked from environment section, and they are, even if you do not refer any particular book, you will know about the answer of question. So you can better ways to practice answer writing. For science and technology, there is weekly edition on science and technology in the Hindu newspaper, which is very important. Many time UPSC questions are asked from that particular section, so you can refer the Hindu science and technology section. Unacademy videos are already always there with you. Newspaper we read, and current affair magazines we also have with us. So environment science where to cover, Shankar or any other good book. Science and technology, the Hindu page, which is weekly, Unacademy video. Newspaper and monthly magazines we are covering. Generally question on science and technology are application based, so you don't need to refer detailed book. And since you have got very late, you have 3.5 month time for mains examination, so no need to read lengthy books on science and technology. There is an Upendra Anmol book on science and technology, you can go through it, but spend less time on such kind of sources. Join me on my Telegram channel Unacademy_Ashpal. Also use my referral code AJ01 to get 10% off. Now, so far we have discussed The syllabus, previous year question, trend of paper, where we have seen weightage. We have also covered book list. Now let us see how to prepare economic section topic wise. So what you have to do, economics preparation topic wise summary. What you have to do, we have an exhaustive syllabus of economy. For example, there is a topic called inclusive growth or budgeting or PDS or land reform. Okay, so we have got topic like this in economy. Now how to prepare for this kind of topic? So you have to prepare a topic wise summary. For example, PDS, public distribution system. How to cover this PDF? First you need to know what is PDF. So definition. For example, PDS, or you are covering inclusive growth. So what is meaning of inclusive growth? So prepare a diary and assign 2 to 3 pages to each topic. So I have assigned 2 to 3 pages to inclusive growth. What I will do, I will write the definition of inclusive growth, which I can use in examination or in my mock test paper, ready to use definition. Second, all data related to this inclusive growth or PDS or land reform, all data, facts, government scheme, policies concerning inclusive growth, I will write at one single place in these 2-3 pages. Now it can be a hard copy or soft copy. You can make your notes in Evernote. Evernote is also very user friendly. You can update whenever you want to update. So depends upon your choice. Make online or make a hard copy or soft copy. First is definition. Second, on all relevant data, facts, government scheme, policies. Third, current issues and problems. For example, if you are writing about PDS in 2-3 pages, what are the issues concerning PDS? What are the problems? Also committees concerning PDS. For example, Shanta Kumar committee on PDS. What committee said and what is way forward, and also ready to use conclusion. So conclusion can be, you can take recommendation of these expert committees and write in your conclusion. So what you are having a 2-3 page on every topic of economy, where important definitions, data, facts, government scheme, policies concerning to that particular topic is compiled with you. You have also got current issues concerning that particular. For example, PDS, there may be some issue of leakage, some issue of distribution. Okay, so that can be covered. Now problem and solution. So committee recommendation are solutions, and ready to use conclusion, write short conclusion, and that 2-3 pages will be very useful to you during the examination, because you will revise to this 2-3 pages at least 10 times. Now whenever a question on PDS come, it can be any kind of question. Since you have ready to use definition, fact, data, issues, committee recommendation, conclusion, so you have quite a good material with you. You can use this material while writing your answer. So prepare this topic wise summary of each important topic. That is how people become topper of examination. They are preparing smartly. Now what we do, we keep on reading books. We don't prepare this kind of short notes which are ready to use. once you have these relevant topic wise summary with you, it becomes very easy for you to write answers. So prepare economy in this particular fashion. Now let us see a question of 2019 paper, but before that, how to write answers of economics section, then we will write the question. So to dealing with economics section, now we are 125 marks are being asked from economics section. So 50% weightage of GS paper 3 is assigned to economics section. Now how to start your introduction, how to form the structure, what to write in main part of the answer, how to use conclusion. So in introduction, there is always a scope to write your answer with a data and fact or statistics. So incorporate data, facts and statistics in economics answer, from where you have prepared the summary of each and every topic. So that take that data from your summary sheet and use in your introduction. The structure, you have to write your answer in parts. We will see how to do it practically by practice. So write into parts and subheadings. Also write holistically, cover all the dimensions, use graph and charts. For example, there is a question on GDP, so you can prepare a graph telling the GDP figure of last 5 years or inflation figure of last 5 years. So this graph and chart makes your answer illustration more attractive, more examiner friendly, and examiner will definitely will give you good marks. Also use committee recommendation, raise problems, offer solutions, and always write way forward. Way forward is basically solution, so use a committee recommendation in your conclusion, so it becomes authentic. Now let us do it. Mains paper 2019, question number 2. Do you agree with the view that steady GDP growth and low inflation have left the Indian economy in good shape? Give reason in support of your argument. Answer in 150 words. But he's asking you, do you agree that growth of GDP and low inflation is making economy in good shape? Is your economy in good shape? So you have to agree from this statement or not. Second, give reason in support of your argument. So you have to give reasons whatever is your stand. Now basically question is asking that yes, GDP growth rate is good, inflation is low, so is your economy is in good condition or not? And whatever is your stand, you are saying that economy is good condition, so support your stand, support your argument with example. Or if you are saying economy is not in good shape, then support your stand with arguments, support your stand with examples. So basically the tone of answer question is that yes, there is growth in economy, but everything is not in good shape. GDP, we have got GDP growth rate, yes, good GDP growth rate more than 5% last from in last 10 years. Inflation is also under control, but economy is not in good shape. That is the tone of your question. So you have to understand the tone of question, then you will write introduction. Now why what I told you, in writing introduction you have to use data and facts. So you will start in this fashion. To justify your stand, you will say GDP of last 3 years. So since you are preparing for UPSC examination, at least you are expected to remember data of last 4 to 5 years. GDP of last 3 years, write your GDP figures: 2019 5.02%, 2018 6.12, 2017 7.04%. So what you are telling, yes, GDP figures are more than 5%. Second, inflation figures 7.66, which is a high inflation, but 4.86 in 2018, 2.49 in 2017, 4.94 in 2016. Now, from where this data are coming? From your summary sheet. Now that's why I was asking you to prepare a summary sheet, because these data and you can write only in examination when you have revised this particular data 15 to 20 times, and that revision is only possible when you have summary sheets of each topic with you. So prepare that summary sheet. GDP figure last 3 years, inflation last 4 years. So you are telling that yes, GDP is more than 5%, inflation is also under control, less than 5%, less than 5%, less than 5%, there is high, but you can say inflation of 3 years are under control. Okay, there is also monetary policy committee of RBI which is controlling the inflation. So those things are in a good figure, but economy is not in good shape. Also, since you have data of GDP of last 3 to 5 years, inflation data last 4 to 5 years, draw a graph and chart in main part of your answer to convey your idea in a better way. Now you have to write introduction that despite good GDP figure, despite better control inflation, economy is not in good shape. Also you will say that before subprime crisis, 2018 subprime crisis, before that subprime crisis, Indian economy was in good shape, where GDP was quite a high, inflation under control, also economy in good shape before 2018. For presently, GDP's figures are showing they are good, inflation under control, but economy is not in good shape. You have to write around this particular theme. So you have used GDP data, inflation data, you are using chart to convey your idea, and you understood the tone of examination. This is your introduction. Now what to write in main part of the answer? You will tell reason why economy is not in good health. So we all know this general answers, that we have got NPA issue, there is twin balance sheet problem, we all know about it. In trade scenario, there is protectionism of USA, which is also affecting us. There was a huge crisis in infrastructure, leasing and finance company. For example, L&T. There was stress in NBFC companies. Indian rupee is weakening. Unemployment rate is high in last 40 years. Agriculture, there is severe agitation by farmer suicide, other issues like tax related, GST, demonetization. So all these are indicating that economy is not in good health despite having good economic growth. So NPA issue, what you have to write to justify about your NPA issue, again your summary sheet will be helpful. In your summary sheet, you will write NPA figures, gross NPAs at least of last few years, so you can write your stand, you can justify your stand with some data. So NPA figures of 2019, 18 and 17, 14.78, 15.84, 16.58. Now this data are looking quite clumsy, but since you revise this data 15 to 20 times, it becomes very easy for you to write. Or you can say approximate NPA was around 15% during last 3 years. You can also write in this way. NPA problem since last 7-8 years. Now also you also know that greater share of NPA, more at least 90% of NPA is contributed by public sector bank. So that is also a matter of concern. So NPA has become a big problem. It has not been resolved yet. So economy is not good health because of NPA. There is also twin balance sheet problem. Now, what is twin balance sheet problem? Twin balance sheet problem is there is NPA in PSU public sector banks, so their balance sheet is not in good condition. Also, balance sheet of companies, they are not able to repay their loan, so their balance sheet also not in good shape. So we have got problem of twin balance sheet. In trade scenario, protectionism led by USA and China trade war, which is affecting India also. Stress in companies like L&T, so infrastructure leasing and finance companies, NBFC problems. Indian rupee is weakening in recent last 10 years. Rupee dollar ratio, you can use that particular data from your summary sheet. So whatever you're writing, you have to justify with data and fact. Also, unemployment data, take NSSO reports and quote that a rate of unemployment is historically high in last 40 years, highest in last 40 years. Agriculture, doubling farmer income, the promises are not visible. There is severe agitation by farmer all over country. There is recent agitation going on all over India about farmers bill. Farmers are committing suicide. Other issues like tax collection, especially after GST, are not encouraging. Because of GST and demonetization, we haven't got very encouraging result in first few years. So despite having good GDP figure, inflation under control, economy is not in good shape. So you can write your answer in this way. In conclusion, you have to focus that we need an overall growth. So growth should not be reflected only in terms of GDP figure, but also all sectors of economy should reflect that growth. So even if you are having GDP of 10%, now it is not reflected in all sectors of economy. People are unemployed, agriculture is stressed, farmer income is low, farmers are committing suicide. So that is not real development. It should reflect in all sectors. Also suggest recommendation of some committees. For example, for NPA there is Sunil Mehta panel. So suggest recommendation how to overcome a problem of NPA. What are the steps taken by RBI, Reserve Bank of India has taken some step to resolve the problem of NPA. Protectionism, how India should deal with protectionism. What should be way forward? It can be written in conclusion, and in this way you will end up writing a holistic and comprehensive answer. Now here, what is catch? The catch is data and facts. That's why I was telling you to prepare your diary. That's why topic wise summary becomes very important. It is very handy. You have to revise topic wise summary 15-20 times. It will become very useful in answer writing. So in this way you can answer all your economics question. Now let us see how to cover environment science, disaster management, security answer writing. So in environment, disaster management or security questions, you have to know the meaning of terms. Why meaning of terms? For example, let us go through the paper. There is question on security. What is Cyber Dome project? Explain how it can be useful in controlling internet crimes in India. Now, until unless you know the meaning of cyberdrome, you know the definition of cyberdrome, you won't be able to answer. So that's why it becomes important to know the meaning of basic terms. For example, there is question number 11. It is argued that strategy of inclusive growth is intended to meet the objective of inclusiveness and sustainability together. Comment on this statement. First, you have to write your answer. You have to write the definition of inclusive growth. Then only you can write your answer. So, knowing the meaning of terms is becomes very important, especially in environment, disaster management, security aspect. So, meaning of terms should be known by you. You should also draw a map, especially in security answers. For example, there is a question on border dispute. There is a question on extremism. There is a question on nationalism. So you can show in the map of India that which regions are facing the problem of nationalism. So in Odisha or this particular region there is a red corridor. So you can show the red corridor on map of India. So border dispute, extremism, nationalism, this use of map becomes very handy and useful. You also cover the current angle. You have to cover the question from current angle and write a holistic conclusion. In this way you can deal environment, disaster management, security answers. No strategies again foolproof. Time and again I am saying that no strategy is foolproof, but take hint from a good strategy and write your answers accordingly and devise your own method. I hope this video is useful to you. Join me on my Telegram channel Unacademy_Ashpal. Use the referral code AG01, get 10% off, and like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. We will meet tomorrow